from Training.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. I'm here with the wonderful Kyle Williams. It's been a while. Hello, Kyle. How you doing?
Doing good.
Good. Glad to hear it. Kyle is a master of JSON and all sorts of really cool shenanigans with web viewers. He's been on the stream many times before. I can sit in the camera view. Ah, there we go. And has shown some really fantastic stuff, and the stuff that he has shown I've used before. Like, if you ever see me open up BVA and there'll be notifications in the top right corner that slide in and out, that's one of Kyle's demos. Real quick, if you'd like to support the channel, feel free to pick up one of these babies right here. They are a ton of video content. Every once in a while, I will get people that give me a message and go like, yeah, Margs, I don't like how you do live streams. The live streams are generally interactive. They can go on for a long time. And we discuss a wide variety about stuff. Like, I'll toss questions at presenters that can sometimes take the presenters off topic, and we kind of meander away. It's because we want to, encourage the FileMaker community and have an interactive community as well as sharing really cool FileMaker knowledge. But that isn't necessarily the best environment for learning things if you have a very specific goal in mind about stuff that you want to learn. So for that, we have these bundles. The video content here is anywhere from like 4 to like 30 minutes long at max, but most of them are in the 5 to 10 to 15-minute range. They cover very specific topics. It's Richard, so I promise that you will not get bored. You might be a little overwhelmed sometimes, but you won't be bored. And we cover a huge variety of topics, enough definitely to make you a competent developer in your own right if you watch all the video training and internalize it. Hello, Steve. People are drifting in. Okay. So, Kyle, I have been hearing endlessly about how cool this is, and I totally believe you, but what is this? What are you showing us today, and why is it so cool?
All right. Yeah. So today is about it's a technique that I figured out years ago when we first got the perform JavaScript and WebViewer function. So I was, trying to think, how do we leverage this? How do we create new features with this? What is this new script step capable of? So I started playing around with it, and I stumbled across a way you can containerize a JavaScript function or a set of JavaScript functions, and you can literally tell FileMaker to inject this JavaScript function directly into the web viewer and create all kinds of web components within the web viewer. So to be able to do that, it allows you to do all kinds of things. You can get all the data out of a web viewer without any JavaScript code in the web viewer whatsoever. So you can create HTML tags, you can create the input fields, you can get all the user's input, and then you can put a save button. That save button just calls this script that injects the JavaScript directly into the web viewer and returns it back to the script that calls it. And then suddenly you have all the data out of the web viewer without having to do any scripting at all. So this is a really cool technique to save you a lot of time. Also, you can do headers and footers on each of the layouts. So you can have several different HTML templates. Like, you can create a mobile app and it can have several different HTML templates to navigate to. And then you can create one JavaScript function to insert that header or the navigation header to be able to navigate through all of those. I also have another JavaScript function that allows you to get the scroll position for any of those windows, and it gets the document title from the HTML in one call. So that way, when you put the back button on the navigation, you can return to the other layouts. You can scroll right back to where they were, and it's really, really cool stuff.
Okay, yeah, I want
So,
to see this because I'm having a hard time visualizing this. I
yeah.
kind of get what
So,
you're saying, but I'm having a hard time like grasping the
yep, yep,
magnitude of what
yep.
you were conveying to me. So show it to me.
All right, so I'm gonna see if I can get the control side. Okay, so I have this demo file. There's this nice reset button here, so we can play around with it. We can reset when we need to. So I'm gonna open up the script workspace. This is kind of it's a whole set of scripts here, and I have this about script here that kind of tells about the file and what we can do with the file. And this all starts with what's called an IIF function, which is a immediately invoked function expression. So what's really cool about knowing what an IIF is you can go to ChatGPT or Grok or any of these AI platforms, and you can tell it to create a fully self-contained IIF and then tell it what you need. So if you need a modal window and you need all these fields and a submit button, you can tell it to do all of that. It'll create it. And I'm going to demonstrate this at the end of this last half of this presentation, so you'll be able to see it firsthand what I'm doing. So really cool. It speeds up development of any features, and you can create modal windows. Really easy. So I have universal scripts for all of this. So I'm gonna just kind of demonstrate this real quick. So I'm gonna turn on the debugger, and I have a very simple demo right here in this about script. And basically what this is it's taking some text, it's making some HTML, so it's putting the break tags in there for the return carriages. And then it's going to combine that information with this JavaScript step. I have this set variable. What this does is it just puts it onto the data viewer so you can retrieve it in case you want to tweak it, change things. And then uh, just injects the JavaScript straight into the web viewer. And then it tells a little bit about me. So what's really cool is how this works is I can get the HTML with one of these functions. It injects the code into the web viewer, pops up this modal, and it shows me what I have in here. And now, if I do this again, I click that exact same button. Yeah, so now I created this code viewer. It allows you to search through it. You can replace text with it. You can copy the text to the clipboard. I also did a dark and light mode and a render to just kind of see what that's going to look at like preview in case you're wanting to edit the code. So that's something
Okay,
I was playing
wait. So
around
you
with.
built this entire like interactive with the HTML code that we're viewing right now, and you put it inside of a web viewer so we can interact with it inside of a web viewer inside of FileMaker to make sure that
Yeah,
I'm grasping what you're saying correctly.
yeah, it's a lot. But this is all that the code from the code viewer from the first time I loaded it. So the first time I loaded it, so if I reset and I do get HTML, it gets me whatever's currently in the web viewer. It doesn't include the code viewer itself because that wasn't in the web viewer yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so then when I do it again, all of a sudden now I have my original code still there, but now I've injected all this the styles here, all of this stuff for this modal window. So we got the modal overlay, there's a checkbox, there's a lot of stuff here.
And you can edit this here. So like if you wanted to change the code viewer text to like orange or something and you added like a color change or whatever,
Yeah.
it would
So
register.
if I did class or maybe we have a class in there. So if I do tag like that, I can
Mm-hmm.
do replace with um and we'll just replace with class, replace, and now class equals class. So it's really cool. And plus you can step through it too. So if I do the word top, there's three results, and I can do the back and forth buttons, and it'll scroll down to it. So if you got a whole bunch of code in here, you'll be able to find what you're looking for in here, and you can copy it to the clipboard. So now I can take all this out, you know, and then um, well, I have it on the clipboard, don't I? So, and then I can paste it. So the copy button puts it on the clipboard, so that way you can paste it, you can tweak it, and then do whatever you want with it. So really cool.
That's
So
extremely cool. Okay.
yeah, so that's kind of the first introduction into what this is and how you can leverage it.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're going to get into some really fun stuff. So I have these three tables here. So the three tables, this first one is all HTML templates. So this is just raw HTML. I click it, it resets the JavaScript, or it resets the content within the web viewer. So with new HTML. So this is replacing the HTML with something else. So this isn't injecting, this is just saying I have this HTML code and I'm setting that code within the web viewer. Uh, so I'm replacing it essentially. So this isn't adding, it's just replacing. So I have a whole bunch of really cool little things here. So it all works, it's all functional. Uh, you can play around with that. You can tweak it. I got a sample script parameter. So you can see this is in anybody who's familiar with data API calls recognizes this code. So when you start dealing with it, you're like, okay, messages, response. Okay, I'm used to that. But this is a multi-select, so I can select checkboxes or I can select all, uh, and I can see the selected records. And so there's all my selected records. Um, Or if I wanted to, I can come into here, I can tweak things. So if I want a single select, I can do that. And now I have a single select. Uh, if I want to add see, I have hidden columns. Maybe I want to add the ages column back in. I can do that. So all of these sort. So, this really cool widget can easily integrate it into any system. So that could be part of a future presentation. Today I want to do just kind of a show
Overall, yeah, no, this is
where
yeah,
we're
the
going to
quick
summarize today, and then I'll return and we'll dive deeper into this, kind of show how to integrate it into other systems next time, I think.
yes.
Yeah. So then yeah, I'll go through the HTML templates and then we'll start playing around with them to inject code into them. So we're just going to kind of overview these, different features that I created in here. And again, you can use these uh, and so I can select a directory and it shows it right here. Um, and then I got all these buttons that uh, these buttons aren't injected. So
You cut out badly when you were explaining the buttons, so do you want to try that for me again real
oh,
fast?
okay. Yeah, so I was selecting these, and then I
Mm-hmm.
noticed buttons down here, and I started clicking on them, and then I was noticing they were just doing some JavaScript and showing a
Mm-hmm.
JavaScript alert. So this isn't the injected buttons, which I'll show later, which look the same. So you can actually inject this button into any web viewer. So we'll get to that next. So that's going to be really cool. So again, I'll just do a quick injection here to get the web viewer data. So there's no code to get the data out of this. It actually got all the tables. So this is like the calendar date, and then report criteria and the date and the report criteria. So if there's, say, formless here, I'm just gonna do this real quick. Where is it? Maybe it's in DevTools. Okay, so I have to go into here. It's in DevTools, and there's this. Missing this. I should have added that. So if I come in here and I paste this in here, there was a section called formless, and those are fields that aren't currently in a form. So I should be able to select that, and then that gets rid of all the table, the date selector tables. So now I'm getting just the report criteria form. So it's really cool that you can tweak all this to only get the data you need. So you don't have to deal with all of that. And you can just inject the code into here to get the data out of it. Um, so that's
We have a
really cool.
question about that really fast. Does this work on
Sure.
Windows, the getting the code viewer information?
I'm sure it should work on Windows. I have not tested it, to be honest. But that would be great to test it. I did all of this coding on a Mac. So if you test it on Windows and you find any issues, please let me know, and then I can fix those. Um, that is a great question. Um, so
Ah, a loading animation.
yeah, and this you can also tweak too. So if I wanted this to be green or something, I can select that again. There's a green SVG.
Oh, nifty. That's
So you,
very
you can
nifty.
tweak it. There's background color, there's loading animation, there's a text color blue. Uh, so yeah, you can customize that. Um, Slide notification. So this I've updated a little bit. So now there's multiple stages.
Ooh, okay,
Yep.
that's okay.
So the one I did before on my presentation, it only had the one. It slid in,
Yes,
it
no,
slid
I
out, and I
noticed
was
immediately. Having the complete section would be
in.
nice. Okay, so
Yeah, so
adding to
I
list
have
of
an
things to
injection.
yank.
uh, There's an injection version of that.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah,
What
so
what makes the injection versions better, I guess? Are they better or are they just different?
what makes it better is you can have stuff already in here. So if I
Mm-hmm.
have this table here and I wanted to inject that, so inject slide notification, it comes in over the top of the existing web viewer without having to change the code. You can see I added
What?
an extra stage and I added colors. So there's a custom delay. I got a lot of customization settings. There's the SVG code. You can change out the SVGs. It's an array, so you can have as many different steps as you want now with different delays for each one. So you can say almost done. I want a new text color. So this one I've been having a lot of fun with. So it's an updates array. So updates start here. There's that start of the array. And so this is the first step of the update. And then it goes into the second step. So if I wanted to tweak this, I could take this out here, copy, paste that in there. I think there we go. And we'll just say almost and new text color green. And then I should be able to do that again. And maybe there should be 4 stages. Oh, because I just did it and the code's already in the web viewer.
It went by
I
so
have
fast you didn't see the fourth stage.
no, what it is I had to reset the web viewer because the code was already
Oh,
in there.
got it.
So in order to get it,
Hey
see,
Kyle.
so that was just by updating this. Go ahead.
You're coming in and out a little. Do you want to shut off your video for me? I'm trying to think about ways to make it so there's less of a strain on your internet.
So there.
There we go. Okay, let's
Better.
see if that improve. We'll see if that improves it. Okay. So basically, if the code has already been injected, it won't. If you alter the code, you have to re-inject it. Is that what you're telling me?
Uh,
Because it doesn't
yeah,
change.
so it's already in here. So like I was showing you here with getting the HTML. So the HTML is here, and then I do the same thing again. The code is still there, and I'm able to see it. So you're injecting the code, and what happened was we had that code in here already, and we did the slide notification. Well, we just added that slide notification code in here, and then when we try to do it again, it's adding it a second time, and it's finding that first instance of the functions first. So just like finding related records, it finds the first related record first. In this case, it's finding the first function first because there's duplicate functions. So that's why I had
Got
to
it.
reset the layout with the new table in order to get that to work again.
Okay.
So that in that case, you don't necessarily have to uh, reload the web viewer. What you'd want to do is create another perform JavaScript script step and then call the function that already exists in the web viewer because you've already injected in the web viewer. So you can create a function to check to see if it already exists. If it exists, then use it. Otherwise, inject new code. So you can script that, and that would solve that problem. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, we got slide notification. This is something I created for a mobile app. This was kind of the beginning of the project. So I did a lot more work after this, but I thought this would be kind of cool to throw in for uh, just demonstration to kind of demonstrate another HTML template. And yeah, so kind of cool.
That is cool.
Somebody might find a use for it. So I figured I'd
Hey,
share
you
that.
just toss things out there and people will find, uses for stuff.
Yeah. So again, here's the date selector, just like in the report criteria, but I don't have a submit button. But what I do have is I can inject code to get the web viewer data. So again, we have the formless fields, but we have the start date, the stop date. So it's getting some extra stuff that we may not want. But again, that's kind of the downside to a universal function that gets data out of any web viewer. But it is still really cool that you don't have to do any coding to get the data out of it. It's right here. You just have to map your scripts to look at the right location that you're getting, and then you're done. So that just saves so much time. Um, so then yeah, we got edit tags. Um, this is a tag selector. So with this, you can save, and then we have all the results right here. So that's kind of a cool little widget that I was working on. And you can remove stuff. So that this could be integrated into any project, really. Uh,
Yeah, I could think of some uses for that.
yeah. So I like that, and I wanted to kind of include that. Um, see range selector. So again, you can
Oh, that's cool.
this. Nice, big, easy to see, easy to read. You can modify it if you want manually, or use the slider to control it, and then you hit save, and it saves it here. So if I have this here and I want to get the data out of it, I can easily use my universal function. The reason this looks weird is because there's already CSS that matched the class that this was using. So, but still, it's really cool that you can just get the data out of the web viewer, even though there's no submit button. I'm not clicking any submit button. I'm just saying I want this to to show up. I want to be able to use it for my scripting with one function. So yeah, there's no code to get the data out of it, but I can still get the data out of it. So really cool.
Th-
See, were there any questions?
Not that I can see, just people having like, you know, this is, yeah, love this, clapping hands. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, this is kind of a universal feature here too. So sometimes we want a nice big delete cancel
Yes, please be incredibly
feature.
aware of the delete key that you are
Yeah.
clicking, my friend. Yes.
You're about to delete something. It's permanent.
Please do not do that.
So,
Yes.
yep. A nice big delete button. Are you sure you want to do this? Uh, Universal buttons. So this is kind of a cool feature because this is using JSON. So I got the SVG in here. I got the spacing between the buttons. I have the label for the button, how big I want the button, the color of the button, um, and the parameter. So when I click the button, this is the script parameter I'm going to get from it. And then same thing here. I have my script parameter for the save button. There's my SVG, and I can customize it however I want. So that's pretty cool. So when I click this, it gives me that exact parameter. If I wanted to add another button, I should be able to just go in here and add another button. So I'm gonna just copy all of this, return carriage, and then paste that in. And this will be my new button. So what's cool about using HTML is you can have a lot more text. In FileMaker, you create a button and there's too much text to show. It like truncates it. It doesn't show all the text. It's because it's kind of static. So in this case, oh, uh, what I need to do there is there's a width uh, section in here. So my new button needs to be a little bit wider, and so I can control the width here. So if I say 160, I can make it a little bit wider. It needs to be wider. So instead of 160, let's do 200. No, not that much. Okay. So now all the text fits. So that didn't take me too long to add another button. And I got a script parameter. So it's calling my script with the parameter. And I can change that parameter to be whatever I want. So that could be really useful. So sometimes you just want to display a message in a web viewer. So you can have a small web viewer somewhere and you just want to display a message. So that's where this came from. So I wanted to be able to just display a small message. Uh, so we can change that to say congrats or something. Background color could be something kind of light. Let's go 10. Border color, blue. Border thickness, color green. And then try that. And then, yeah. So you can customize that to be whatever you want, change the web viewer size. So that could be in a small web viewer somewhere to just kind of display a message, and it's completely universal. So you can use it anywhere on several different web viewers, different layouts. So that could be really useful.
We do have some quick questions, if you don't mind backing up a little bit real fast. How do you control where the buttons appear on the universal buttons? Like they're up in the top right. How do you make a move if you want
Oh,
to move them?
right. So there is, see, I had something in here. Save. So there's height. I thought I had a parameter in here for positioning. There's the space. So if I wanted 120, oh, didn't really change anything. So that I think that's something we'll add to it. That might be in the script itself, because I'm pretty sure I had the same question myself. I'm like, I might want to put that somewhere.
Jessie says that she sees position in your big chunk, like if you looked lower.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
position. Right there,
position.
commented. There it is. So if I wanted to position it to the left, so let's oh, this it's going to get rid of the SVGs because I have variables. So yeah, we just want to add the position parameter in here, which is commented out. So if I copy that, come back here, and was that outside of the array? Don't recall. Let's just paste. Oh, I see what's going on there. Okay. So copy, and then I've been doing too much JavaScript. I'm not putting this in quotes. Uh, something about coding in JavaScript is you don't have to quote your keys. So I got a tool for that. I'll show you in a little bit. So yeah, so now I got one button on the left and the rest on the right. So that's really cool that you can dynamically adjust that. So if you want some on the left, some on the right, they don't have to be anchored to one side or the other. You can anchor it to either. Um, so that's really cool.
It is.
Yeah, I remember adding that, and I couldn't remember what happened to that. It wasn't in this parameter. So, yeah, must have been position right here somewhere. But yeah, super cool. So the image carousel, this is just kind of for fun. If you wanted to add some kind of image carousel to your project, you have your own pictures. So that's kind of a starter solution. Um, and then accordion. So if you ever wanted to create an accordion based on JSON and you wanted to script what it showed, uh, you can build it with this. So this has different levels. It has parent and children. So like this is a parent. I click the parent accordion, and the children accordion show up. So item 1.1. So you can put pictures in here. You can do HTML tables in each of these, whatever you want, as long as it's in HTML format. So if you have a table, you want to show that whole table, you can code that into your JSON. So like here we have the paragraph, this content is in level 3 of item 1.11. We can change that to new text here. So that's level 3, 1.11. So level 3, 1.11. There's my new text. So just like that, I can easily adjust the accordion. I can adjust the names of the accordions. It's all right here in this JSON block. So you can put this in a code editor so you can see it a little better. If you got Sublime Text Editor or VS Code, it's a great way to edit this stuff. Or I do have a dev tool for this. So we can copy this, and I can go into the dev tools and uh, see there's uh, so here I should be able to, oh, it's not in that one. I got so many tools in here. HTML editor, might be able to put it in there and see it. So that's kind of cool. This is designed for HTML, but similar concept to be able to just put it in there and edit that. Um, and then this was to demonstrate getting the web viewer out of getting data out of the web viewer. So this I have multiple forms.
Mm-hmm.
So that each form you create, this is a form name. This is a field name within the form. And so this kind of demonstrates building JSON by having your forms and then giving each of your fields an ID. So that way you have a field name and then it returns the value as JSON. And then there's one that doesn't have a form name that's outside, and that's custom input. And that's because that's in a modal window. So if I select other, it opens up a custom option. And so you can select that, and then there it is. and then I can get the data out of the web viewer, and there's my text. Um, and this it's kind of funny. This also included the fields from this modal here, so it's case sensitive from up here. So uh,
Which
yeah,
is
so now
all.
we get into
Oh, this is cool. This is like there's
yeah,
there's a lot here.
so now we're going to get into the fun stuff. This
Ah,
is
oh, this
the
this
only
wasn't okay. The
exciting stuff.
HTML wasn't the fun stuff. Okay, got it.
So
I see.
so this whole table here, this is all the really fun stuff. This we get to open modals. If I want to inject a PDF generator and have this table be a generated PDF.
What?
Uh,
Okay, I have to see that.
yeah, so I'm just gonna put the letter M so we have some stuff to show, and then inject PDF generator, and there's my M.
No, no, you're kidding. Are you serious?
There is absolutely no code in this to generate a PDF. Again, I can go to HTML gallery, load that, and then generate a PDF. And this takes a moment, but
Okay,
I got a multi-page PDF.
what crimes are you peddling, Kyle Williams? Like, this is seriously very cool. This is awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I've
I
always
see what you
struggled with
meant
trying to get
about
this
this
stuff
being the
out.
good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, this is really fun stuff. So yeah, even this, if I wanted, I put an easy export PDF button up here, so you don't have to try to find it in the table because that's going to be a common used
Oh,
item.
yeah, no, absolutely.
So there's my PDF of this.
And it looks nice too. It's like not even like
Yeah,
a wonky looking PDF. What? Okay.
so really cool stuff. Uh, so another thing, what was it? I had some JSON down here for like here. I got copy. So I have this tool. You can inject it into anything. So you can see I just have this staff search for mobile. I'm going to inject this code into the existing web viewer so that way I can adjust JSON. So I have this stuff in here already. Uh, just kind of show you what this can do. I can colorize it. I can export that as a PDF. So I got a button here to export that as a PDF. So that way you can share it with people, email it or whatever. Um, and then there's I can compact it, uh, create a FileMaker formula for it. So that's really cool. And if I want to copy this, I have a copy button, output copied, open up my data viewer, and I'm going to get rid of this stuff because we don't need that. And paste this in here, and it works. So, it's just really cool stuff. I'm gonna swap this out with something different so we can really test this. I haven't tried this yet. So I'm gonna
Okay.
take all this JSON. I'm gonna take this out, paste that in there. So now I have this really complicated JSON. I want to colorize it so I can see it now. I can see it and understand it a little bit easier. Um, so see if I want a FileMaker formula for it, there's my formula. I didn't have to do
What?
any coding.
Oh my goodness.
So I can copy that output, open up my data viewer,
Okay.
and then I'm just gonna take all this out. I'm gonna paste that new code in. It worked. How cool is that? I
That's
saved so
cool.
much time. You know how long
That's
it takes to do all this
insane.
array stuff and all the children and
That's insane. Okay. Well,
saves
that's
so
nuts.
much time. Uh, yeah, so I can colorize it again, export it as PDF if I need to. There it is, multi-page. So, um, yeah, there's so much you can do here. So another thing I wanted to show, sometimes, let's see, I'm going to reset. And sometimes I get this JSON that is just incomplete because I'm getting it out of a JavaScript WebViewer. I have some JavaScript code. It doesn't have these keys quoted properly. And I just did a value. So if I take some of these out, and I'll even take one out here. So a lot of times you have JavaScript, you're working with it, none of the keys are quoted. And so then you go to validate. So if I click the validate button, it's invalid. I can't colorize it. I can't do the formula. Um, I can't compact it. But I have this button here, this JS object to JSON. If I select that, it fixes it. And then if I copy the output and paste it back in here, and then I can come down here and say, colorize that JSON, create the formula, everything works again. So just like that, I'm able to convert the JavaScript JSON into something FileMaker can use and easily create a FileMaker formula for it with little to no effort. So,
You are
uh,
being accused of being an actual wizard. So congrats.
yep. Uh, yeah. So another thing with JavaScript, say I have this, I can select here, I can type, you know, so this is kind of it's interactive, but I have this disable web viewer. Sometimes you want to be able to script a disabling of a web viewer so nobody's messing with it. Nobody's able to touch any buttons. So now I've disabled it. I can't do anything here. I'm trying to select something and it's trying to select it, but it can't. It's disabled. So I click enable, and now when I select it, I get my JavaScript popping up. Everything starts working again. I disable, and now nothing works. So that's another really cool feature to be able to do. Um, any questions yet?
Nope. It's end of the day Friday on the East Coast. This is way better than happy hour, says Royal River. So, for
Right.
free? Like, what is this? I was late.
It is free, yeah. So I have this. I'm going to use this for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it takes any timestamps that you may have. You might want to convert them to a different time zone. Uh, even Arizona, where they don't have daylight savings, this will convert it properly. It's using a Java an API, a JavaScript API to be able to convert it. So it converts it accurately. I can do as many conversions as I want. So if I want to add something in here that's lunchtime and I change this to 16 instead of 15, and then I click this, I now have my lunchtime. So that's what I entered, and it's using New York time, and then it's converting it. So we got the converted. So we have input up here, converted here, and this is what it converts it to based on my JSON. So I have here from New York to UTC, it'll convert it. So that's another really cool feature. A lot of times you need to be able to do that when you're doing scheduling apps. So back to injecting, I have kind of a nice clean web viewer to
Part
play
2
around
is
with.
already booked. Sorry if people are demanding to know when part 2 will exist.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we'll
Part 2 is
definitely
that's
revisit this and go
happening
deep
this
dive.
I think not next week, the week after next week. We'll be coming back to
Yeah.
this. So,
Yep. So let's do a few more things here. So let's say a signature pad. I want to be able to capture somebody's signature. I can do that. And then I have it. Um, sorry, Zoom controls popped up. So yeah, just like that, I can capture a signature by injecting the JavaScript. There's no JavaScript in here other than this time conversion. So I can inject the modal signature pad. If I want to add the footer buttons down here, I can do that. And they work. So fully functional, fully customizable. If I don't want three buttons, so say I want to take this third one out of here, I'll take that comma too. So that way I get valid JSON. And then um, I might have to reload this web viewer. Uh, footer, there's the two buttons. So, uh, yeah, so you can customize this, you can change the label. So I'm just gonna reset so it's not calling the same functions again. But it still works. Um, and I can customize the parameter to be whatever I want. So here's my script parameter. Is this whole parameter section right here. This is all your script parameter. So this, it doesn't have to be script name, doesn't have to be script parameter. It can be whatever you want. And it's going to return this right here as your parameter. So you have your label, your parameter. It's going to call the script that you called this from. So it's going to call that inject WebViewer footer script. So I also have inject WebViewer header, and this has a gear menu with some common items. This is all customizable, of course. You can select it and it works. So reset app. So we have the header, we have the footer, and you can see we're just piecing this together in real time. So I'm starting with a web viewer. I added a header, I added footer. What about a sidebar nav? You can see that back button got replaced with the sidebar navigation, and that works. So,
Ah. I don't
yeah,
even know what to say, Kyle. I don't even know what to say, man. Like, what is
yeah.
this?
So the sidebar is fully customizable. There's the JSON. You can change the labels. You can change the icons. Uh, all of that's right here. You can add more because it's an array. So it's an array menu. So you can add more items in here if you wanted to. So if I wanted to come down here, paste another one, and uh, new new option. And what was that, sidebar nav? So I got to reset sidebar nav, and now we have 4 options. So new option, and it has that new, which I added in there. So just like that, I'm able to create a new header with a new navigation that comes in with a new button. It calls the script with the parameter. So it's so easy to create navigation controls now, create a header. The header is consistent across all of your HTML templates. So you don't have to add this to your template. You don't have to add the footer to the template. It saves so much time when you're developing WebViewer layouts. Just here, inject this, inject this, inject this, and it's all done. Uh, so much time saved. So if I reset, there's another alert style so that you can add an icon
Oh,
to.
that flies totally differently. Cool.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different style. So I was playing around with different ideas. Again, this is, you can customize it. There's the alert coming in, the icon, there's text color blue you can change, background color of it. If you're using a different web viewer, maybe you have multiple web viewers on the same layout, you can select which one you want to do. So that's really handy. Toast notification, you can put this on any layout and it'll automatically go away on its own. You can set the milliseconds here. So if you wanted to stick around a little longer, you can. If you want to change this to some other message, uh, new message, uh, and then that one, yeah, there it is, new message. So very easy to customize, very easy to change, and very simple JSON to adjust. So that's how you do that
Okay.
one.
So Kyle, I want to ask you to do something in the next 12 minutes because I do have a meeting like at like 2:10, so I have to
Oh,
be
okay,
gone shortly. And I do
sure.
want to show something because I know you're coming back. So I'm going to take advantage of the fact you're coming back. People are saying, "How do I implement this into my database?" Can you take one of these widgets and drop it into like a fresh file so that we can see how it's done?
That was going to be part of the next presentation. But yeah, we can do something
I
really.
mean, it wouldn't hurt to hit it twice just so they get the file and they're like not completely confused about what they're doing. Like, okay, I have the cool file
Yeah,
and I have no idea how to implement this at all. So
yeah.
I
So
just want
you
to ask you to do one real fast and then
so PDF generator. It's a fun one. So I'm gonna just copy that and we'll go create new. Uh, because I don't have one created, and so it's gonna be something brand new. I'm not even gonna title it. Not gonna adjust anything.
nope.
Okay. So we'll go into script workspace. Um, and we'll paste that in. Oh, so we do have to add a couple custom functions. So there's this perform JavaScript and WebViewer function, JSON get elements as variables function, and so this is looking for to export. It needs a global field, and then it exports from that global field. So we'll add those real quick. I don't need any of these. I'm just going to delete all of that and global PDF. Create that. I'm going to convert that to a container, change. So now we have a PDF container. So we can map that to untitled global, uh, untitled global. Okay, so now we have a field. Now we need to import the custom functions. So we come into our custom function. Actually, cancel that. So I have the file right here that I want it from. So I'm gonna come in here and see what was it, version 3 of this. And so I'm gonna copy that over and try and remember what the other one was real quick. So custom function. So we'll paste that in. Make sure that didn't break. Didn't break. I'll get into that custom function here in a minute. It's really cool. Okay. So we enable that. Function cannot be found. Did I get the wrong one? Copy. Okay. I must have got the wrong one.
There's a V3 and then there's a no V3, so I assume that you.
Yeah. So yeah, so there's a perform JavaScript function, and then this is so it's two different ones. They're very similarly named. So um this allows you to create a function inside of JavaScript to call your current script. V5 is one I would recommend using. This is kind of an older script. So
Got it.
yeah. And I really would like to demonstrate that during the next presentation because we don't have enough time today.
No, don't worry about it. Like, I just want to like people have like the basic like steps of copy custom function, copy this, ta-da.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay, so we need the JSON get elements as variables. So I'm just gonna copy that to the clipboard and we'll jump back over here, custom functions. MBS has this find function, which is awesome. So there's get elements as variables and clear element variables from elements. These kind of go together, but I only need this function right now. So one creates variables from the JSON, the other one clears the variables from the same JSON. So super useful functions that I use all the time. Okay, so now I should be able to get this to save. And this is extracting the JSON as variables. So it's getting the JSON from the script parameter. So right here, it gets the script parameter, puts it in a variable called JSON. Here it's getting the variables out of the JSON. So it's mapping all the keys to the values and creating a bunch of variables from that. And then if there's a result block, it's going to get that. And the results are going to have the variables needed for the PDF generation. So this base64 variable comes from that result. So that's why it needs both those steps. Okay, so now come into here, we need a WebViewer. So WebViewer, and don't need anything in here. And so that's how I usually do all of these. And then see, I need to also come over here, type web, because your WebViewer has to be named for it to find it. All right, so now we have a WebViewer that we can use. So we come over here. I'm going to need a second script, so that way I have something to export as a PDF. So we go into HTML, and I'm just going to copy this table. So I guess I'm exporting a couple things to this file. So we got HTML table, make sure nothing broke. Step parameter WebViewer. Trying to remember what this does. Oh, this shows the code. So it's calling another script to show the code. So we don't really need to do that, I don't think. Okay, so now I think this has everything we need. So debug and I got all these zoom controls. Okay. Oh, this is commented out. So hold on a moment. HTML. So we come into here. Um, so figure out why this is commented out. It probably has custom function in here. Cannot. So this is a custom function to create JavaScript to call my scripts. This is the newest version. And so it's going to return this as the script step. So there's a step parameter, and this is going to be in the result. And when you use this, this JSON, this is a script you're going to call, and then 5. So 5 is a list of options. So it could be a list of 0, return carriage 1, return carriage 2, and so on. Usually I just use 5 because that interrupts whatever's currently going on to just make to just perform the script. And then when I'm using that function, I use the function name that I've defined in the. So up here, I define the function name. So this could be whatever I want it to be called. So I can have several functions calling several different scripts from this JSON or from this JavaScript. And so this one is mapped to perform script. And then 5 is something I'm adding to the end of it, and that's the option number. So at the top, I selected only option 5 in that list. And so I'm performing the script, option number 5, because you can have multiple options. And then this is the script step that it's going to use. And this is the parameter it's going to pass. This is the cancel action. So there's another one up here for the selected records and so on. So it cannot find the function. So if I come in here, perform find my script, copy, okay. Trying to be faster because I know we're limited on time. Okay, so now this should work. Okay, save. And so now there's my table. I don't have any data in it, but now we want to inject this code to create a PDF. So this is creating the code here. This is the function. So that's what it looks like. It's a containerized function. So it's an IIFE. All the functions are inside this bracket here. So, and it just starts with a function with no name. And then it performs the JavaScript just like a script tag in your script. And that down here is where it injects the JavaScript code into the WebViewer to produce a PDF. So just gonna run that, and there it is. Just like that, we have a PDF of what I just created. So any questions on that?
I'm sure there are to some extent. The code viewer works in Windows. People, I shared the file out like right just this second. So people have been
Oh,
looking
okay.
for it and looking at it a little. Thank you for briefly showing how to drop that into a file. We can definitely cover that way more in depth when we come back to this.
Yeah.
And we can also talk more about all of these. Oh, I always love a good progress bar. I remember like the fights to
It
make
changes
progress
colors,
bars
it
back
changes
in the day.
text. And then finally we're all set up.
Oh my goodness.
So that again, I'm injecting that, and then I have a script that just kind of loops through and updates it.
Amazing. Fantastic.
There's so many possibilities. So I take it we're out of time. So I'd love to get back into this. There's still a lot more to show.
Oh, yes. No, I expect to have you be returning to talk about this in
Yep,
depth
yep,
on several more occasions if you've got time for stuff. So,
absolutely.
thank you very much, Kyle. Seriously, this is awesome. Like legit. Everyone who has said watch this today says this is awesome. Yes, progress bar, Jesse. I remember watching the very first progress bars get made, and that was like a war
Yeah,
to
yeah. There's
actually
so
put
many
it into
tricks.
FileMaker. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Nick had one that used repetition fields and
Yeah, that sounds
so
about
many
right.
different kinds that we've done over the years.
Seriously,
And
this is yeah, go ahead.
and
Sorry.
and now you can just inject it into any web viewer.
and it's done, and we're good, and we're golden, and we use the slide notifications all the time. That PDF thing is really cool. Like the lists of information is cool. I wonder if you could, every once in a while, whenever I have Rick Kalman on, there's a man in here who comes into my chat and he says, "Are you adding horizontal portals?" So I wonder if we could give him his horizontal portals via WebViewer. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Kyle. This is awesome. Legitimately, this is super freaking cool. Uh, thank you for coming on and being with us today. It has been a real pleasure. It's been also a long time. I don't remember the last time we had you on. So,
Yeah,
uh,
it was
enough time for you to like
last
give
year.
birth to another golden egg, apparently. So, thank you very much, and I will see all y'all on Monday. Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone.